Hey guys, we're going to do a few practice sentences in this video so you can follow along with your worksheet. Let's take a look at our first practice sentence. Soror regis tres filias habet. Soror regis tres filias habet. All right. So the first thing that we want to do, as always, is to find our verb and parse it. Your verb is at the end of the sentence where we normally find our action verbs, habet. The T there is from our present tense ending, so we should be able to parse this fairly easily. It is a third person singular present tense verb, so it means he, she, or it has. He, she, or it has. Now we want to begin parsing our nouns and adjectives. This is where we're going to have to use our third declension endings. The very first two words in our sentence are both third declension words. If you see the word soror or soror, it means sister. And if you've memorized your vocabulary, you know automatically that that's the nominative singular form. There's no ending for that form. They're irregular, so you have to know it from your vocabulary. So we can go ahead and parse it as feminine, singular, and nominative. The next word, regis, regis for king. Now, you might not be able to figure this out if you've only memorized the nominative forms of your nouns. We've been saying since the very beginning of Latin that when you learn a noun, you have to learn both vocabulary forms, the nominative singular and then the genitive singular, because the nominative singular can be irregular, and it always is in the third declension. You see there your genitive singular ending, is. So you should recognize this from rex, regis, rex, regis. So this is the genitive singular form, and it's a masculine noun. Next we have tres. Now, if you remember your chant for tres, it actually follows the third declension plural pattern. Tres, trium, tribus, tres, tribus. The ending ace is in the nominative and accusative plural. When we consider the context of our sentence, it can't possibly be nominative because we don't have any nominative plurals for it to modify. So it's modifying filios, filios. So tres, we're going to label as accusative plural. Filios, on the other hand, is going to be feminine, plural, and accusative. Feminine, plural, and accusative. All right, now that we have everything parsed, we should be able to label our sentence. Our only nominative, soror, is our subject. Regis is genitive. We're going to call it a possessive noun adjective, P-N-A. Tres is an adjective. Filios is the direct object. It's an accusative noun without a preposition in front of it. And then, of course, habet is our verb. So now we've arrived at the last step. The last step is to translate the sentence. Soror is sister. Regis is going to be of the king. So the sister of the king has, now our direct object, 3 daughters. The sister of the king has 3 daughters. I'll give you a minute to check and make sure you have everything correct. Okay, let's move on to our next sentence. Our next sentence is adulescens regem temebat. Adulescens regem temebat. Our first step, as always, is to find the verb and parse it. Temebat is our verb. You can see the BA there tells you that this is an imperfect tense verb from bombos bot, bombos botus bont, third person singular, imperfect tense. And now we need to parse our 2 nouns, both of which are third declension nouns. No surprise there. We'll start with adulescens. If you know your vocabulary words from this chapter, it comes from adulescens, adulescentis. So it's that irregular nominative singular form. Now it can be masculine or feminine. So I wouldn't count it wrong if you labeled it masculine or feminine, but when it can be either and the context doesn't make it clear, we can use the letter C, which means common. It's in the way of saying either masculine or feminine. So common, singular nominative. Now on to regem. You can see blank is-em. That is the accusative singular form. Masculine singular accusative. Now that we have everything parsed, we should be able to label our sentence. The nominative is, of course, your subject. The accusative without a preposition in front of it is your direct object. And then temebot, as we said, is our verb. Now we can translate. Audulais gains the youth. Temebot was afraid of the king. The youth was afraid of the king. Check and make sure you got everything correct, and then we'll move on. Our third and final sentence is tu sororem caves. Let's begin by finding our verb. It's at the end of the sentence, caves. The S is from the present tense endings, ost, mustis, unt. So it's the second person singular present tense verb. Second person singular present tense verb. So it's translated, you guard against. When we move to the front of our sentence and begin to parse our nouns, adjectives, and pronouns, we notice that we have a pronoun. Tu, from tu, tui, tibi, te, te. It's been a while since we've looked at this particular pronoun, but you'll notice it is the nominative singular form, so it matches our verb. It has to. Now, you don't need this particular word there. The you is contained within the verb, but for emphasis, you can add it. You guard against instead of just you guard against. So it's nominative and singular. Now on to our third declension noun, sororem, sororum. You can see the em at the end. That is our accusative singular form, and this is a feminine noun. So we're going to parse it feminine, singular, accusative. Now we label. Tu is our subject. Sororum is our direct object because it's an accusative without a preposition in front of it. And then caves, of course, is our verb. You guard against the sister. You guard against the sister. You could also translate this, you guard against your sister, to supply a pronoun so that it sounds a little better in English. You guard against your sister, or you guard against his sister or her sister. If this sentence were in a larger paragraph, you would supply the pronoun that fits the context. All right, that's our last sentence. I hope you've gotten all that down. I hope this has been good practice for you. The primary goal of this was to see some third declension endings in the context of sentences so that you can begin the process of recognizing them and knowing how to translate them.